Hi everyone, Scott with CyberScribe.org, and in this video I'm going to show you how to set up a multi-area Ospf configuration. And you're probably familiar that Ospf is a very popular routing protocol, and what we're going to do is the end goal here is think of these loopbacks as like your local networks over here. So we want to make it so that Ospf is going to direct this traffic all along these routers and to these loopbacks over here. Okay, think of local networks, think of like the 4th floor and the 5th floor or something like that, because that's pretty much what we're going to be doing. So I already have, for the sake of time, I already set up the correct commands on A2R and ABR20. So just to give you a little quick thing, A2R, area 2, okay, so this is area 2 router, A2R. Area 1 here, A1R, area 1 router, all right. ABR20, area border router between the area 2 and 0, okay, ABR20, ABR10, area 1, area 0, and then the backbone router is right there. So with multi-area Ospf, just a quick review, is you need these area border routers on the edge between your backbone area and the other areas, and also everything has to connect to the backbone. So I'll make a future video with more Ospf concepts, so stay tuned for that, but that's just how I name these things: area border router 10, area border router 20, and all that kind of stuff. Okay, so these are done. The commands are here, are good to go. So let me just show you real quick. And okay, so we're just gonna ping, just do a quick one, and just to show you, ping 6.6.6.6. Okay, good to go. Show IP route Ospf. This is going to be the end game for the other 3 routers that we're going to do. Okay, just a quick little thing there. So let's get into the other guys. Let me set this up all over again. But anyways, okay. So we're going to start with the backbone here, and I'm just going to copy and paste some of the commands because it's going to take too long to type everything in. So I'm going to copy and paste the command, and then after it's all done, we'll go over each individual line and talk about it. Okay, good to go, and we should see a couple things happening there. Alright, so first thing that I did, I just created the interfaces, assigned IP addresses. That's what all these things are here, loopbacks right there. And other thing too, you can pause the video when I'm like right now and just kind of, change it, make it yours, and then you can kind of learn that way too. So here is these are where we get into the router Ospf commands. Okay, so first thing to start your Ospf is router Ospf 1. That is your process ID. So it can be different on each router, but the thing is, in order to add different networks, say I wanted to add another network in the future, I would have to enter this router Ospf 1. Okay, so this is your process ID. Next thing we're going to do is the router ID. So we're specifically determining what your router ID is going to be. This is how the routers communicate between each other on the network. So troubleshooting tip: router IDs cannot be the same. If it is, that's going to cause problems. All right. Next thing we do here is we say what networks we want to advertise. So if you look here, 172.16.04, where are we at here? Okay, so that is this network here. All right. So this is the your network statement right there, and then the IP address or the network name. You could do it a couple different ways, and I'll show you a different way in about two more things. But so here you have 172.16.0.4. That is the network address of that. So then you have to put in your wildcard mask, and your wildcard mask, remember, is the inverse of the subnet mask. So I'm on a /30, which is ends in 252, and to get the wildcard mask, you subtract all 255s from your subnet mask. And if you did that here, that would be 0003. Really important here, area. You need to specify what area that network is in. Okay, and just a couple more network statements. Right there, I did the same thing, and I just did that for this one here. Okay, and the network 1.1.1.1, network 222, those are loopbacks. So what I did after that is, because I don't want, I'm looking at these loopbacks as, say the 1st floor and the 2nd floor, client workstations. So I don't want that to those interfaces to be advertising routing updates and OSPF messages and stuff like that. So I did the passive interface keyword. Okay. Next thing, it'll just show these things going up the interfaces. OSPF here is one of the messages there. So your neighbor 123.123.123.123, that is this guy right there. Okay. So this guy is not set up yet, and we're on the backbone right now. So this is going to be the only neighbor. So what that means is that these guys, once they become neighbors, they're going to be exchanging routing information. Okay, and we'll double check that in a second. All right, and okay, let's do a quick checks to double check where we are at with this backbone router. Well, let's just see if we can ping all the way down. So we're here, backbone. All right, let's see if we can ping to 6666. Ping 6666, and it works right away. Show IP route, and then you can put OSPF just so it's all that. Enter area. Okay, keep in mind this is area 0, but these routes are for area 2, so that's why you have that IA. Okay, OA or O right there, that signifies that it's from an OSPF route, and I just I specified that with show IP route OSPF. Really quick too, we'll go and do a show IP protocols. All right, and here routing protocol is OSPF 1. Okay, 1 is your process ID. Remember, it needs to be for all of this stuff, it needs to be the same on this router. So this ABR20, that can be like OSPF with the process ID of like 20. Doesn't matter. Keep in mind, you cannot have a process ID of 0. Okay, test alert, you know. You cannot have OSPF 0. That's wrong, and it's not going to work. Okay. So we just see the router, the ID, and see we put that in right there, router ID. Okay. All right, there we are. Maximum paths is 4. That means it'll load balance across 4 different network segments if the cost is equal. All right, that's one of the key things there. And routing for networks. So we did 4 network statements, and I'll show you right there. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. And it shows you, this is show IP protocols. Okay, and so it shows the networks that we're routing for. It shows the area, and it also shows the loopback passive interfaces. Okay, and it also shows the routing information sources. Think of that as the neighbors. Okay, so let me just do a show IP OSPF, and let's just do a context sensitive help. We're just going to go neighbor. Right, and it shows that's the neighbor ID, that's the router ID, and that's the router ID of this ABR20. Okay, so let's just do a another ping 5555. Okay, so it looks like we're good to go. We have OSPF routes over there, and like I said, if I'm going too fast, pause the video and go back to where I put in the commands. So we got 2 more routers to go. Next one we're going to do is we're going to move on to this area border router 10. So one difference is between single area and multi-area OSPF is just it's in a different area. And obviously that's what it sounds like, and that's exactly what it is. But it's not really that complicated at all in the differences between how you set up single area OSPF and multi-area OSPF. There's really just one little difference, and I'll show you it right now. So what we're going to do, I'm going to paste the commands, and then we'll go over those. And we should see that the neighbor should come up. Alright, where are we at? Yep. Okay. Neighbor, right there. Remember, the backbone router we put in as 55, 55, 55, 55. Okay. And let me just do that passive interface there too. Okay, so going over the commands, these are the commands here. Adding IP addresses and turning them on. We have a loopback for this area border router. And here, just to show you, router OSPF 5. Okay, so the OSPF 5 is a process ID. So it can be different among your routers. All right. And this one we made the router ID 22, 22, 22, 22. And then we have some network statements. All right. So a couple different ways we can do it here. Now, if you see right here, this interface F00 is 172.16.0.2. So what I did here is, instead of matching it to the network, I matched it to the exact IP address. So here I did 172.16.0.2, but then to change the wildcard mask for that, you did 0.0.0.0, and that is, it's going to match exactly only to that .2. Okay, and then notice area 0 right there. Now the next thing is the big change between single and multi-area OSPF. All right, network 172.16.0.8. That's this guy down here. That's this. I'm doing the whole network. All right, because I'm doing the whole network, I'm putting that that wildcard mask in right there. That would be a /30. 255, 255, 255, 252. Subtract all that from 255, and you get that .3 at the end. Big difference, single area and multi-area OSPF? Yeah, area 1. That's all you do. That's the only difference. It's really not that complicated at all. Keep in mind, though, that the topology that I have here is very, very simple. I mean, you can, in a backbone, you can have, like, 10 routers or more, or as many as you want, really. As many as your hardware can handle. So you could have backbone going to this guy, going to another router here, going to 4 more. So it doesn't. You don't have to. An area doesn't mean only one router. Okay. So just keep that in mind. You can have many more routers in each area. But after that, we did just some passive interfaces because we don't want to be sending out those routing updates. And after that, we are good to go. And you got your neighbor adjacency process showing up right there. You see process 5. All right, and let's go and just do some quick checks here. So let's go show IP protocols. All right, and it shows here OSPF 5. Remember, that's the process ID. Router ID is 22, all 22s. And here, check this out. It is an area border router. Okay, it shows it's between areas. And how do you see that as well? Routing for networks. You have area 1, area 0, area 1. All right. It shows the passive interface is your loopback right there. And routing information sources. These are your neighbors. Okay. Not neighbors. I mean, think of 123. That's this guy down here. But he is getting routing information about this guy from this guy. Now let's take a look at that. So what we should see here, if I do a show IP route OSPF, I should see a 6666. Let's see if we do. So show IP route OSPF. And you see that right there? 6666. IA inter area. Okay. Let's just do a ping 6666. And good to go. All right. So we're almost finished. We got one more to go. We're going to do this area 1 router, and same thing. I'll copy and paste the things in and just talk a little bit about it. Repetition is always good when you're doing this stuff, so I'll do that right now. And after this should complete our topology. We should be good to go, and everything should be working and fully running. Okay, adjacency, that's your adjacency change. I think that's what it is. And process 111. Okay, well, let's take a look at that. Why is that? Well, that's because I put router OSPF 111 process ID. Okay, just to show you that it doesn't have to be the it doesn't have to be like 1 all the time. It cannot be 0. Keep that in mind. Neighbor 22 22 22 22. That's this guy, area border router 10. But keep in mind, look over here. I didn't have a router ID on this A1R. So if I don't have that, what's the router ID on that? Well, it's the highest loopback address. So this should be 4.4.4.4. Let's do a show IP protocols, and then if I'm right, let's see that. Show IP protocols. And there you go. Router ID 4.4.4.4. Okay. Routing protocols OSPF 111. And you're routing for a couple networks there, right? And gateway here, 22, 22. Why isn't it all these other ones? You know, like this ABR10 showed that it was from, I was getting information from the backbone and the area border router. Well, that's because it's an area border router, okay? Because these border routers are the kind of the gateways between, you know, like just the floodgates of routing information. So think of it that way. All right. Default administrative distance right there is 110. So just keep that in mind. But that's it. Let's do a show IP Ospf and see what choices we have. We got a lot of choices. So let's take a look and let's go database. Alright. So you can go through and kind of check. We don't really have time to go through all these show commands, but just be aware that they're there. So show IP Ospf dot or question. There's a whole bunch of stuff, right? And let's go show IP neighbor, because one of the big troubleshooting things is neighbor relationships are not showing up for many reasons. And let's do a show IP protocols. All right, and we already did this, but right there, and passive interfaces again right there. Okay, so show interface. Let's do this just to kind of clear it up and finish it off here and see what we have. Okay, and this is just your show interfaces. I'm trying to see if there's Ospf information in here. I think there might have been. I'm trying to look for timers right here. So let's say show IP Ospf interface FOO. Okay, and here's where your timers are. So show IP Ospf interface F00. Okay, so this is where you got your timers, and you got a lot of information on here. This is your Fast Ethernet 00 interface, and there's just a lot of good information on here. And really, what it is kind of just getting comfortable with a lot of the show commands, and just going through and knowing where to find what information you're looking for, especially with troubleshooting. But let's go and just do a ping 6.6.6.6, and it's no problem. Now I'll just show you one more thing, and then I'm going to cut it off. So I'm going to do an extended ping, because right now, hold on, where are we at? Okay, right now I'm pinging from this F00. Well, what if you want to ping from the loopback? Because then you can kind of see if everything is going through full, like the full way, not just one little. There might be an issue on this router, right? You might not be advertising here. So let's just do that. Let's just do a ping, and I'll just show you how it works. Target IP address 6.6.6.6, and repeat count 5, datagram 5. There you go. Extended commands is yes, and then it's going to ask you the source. So this is really good for troubleshooting outside of Ospf too. But 4.4.4.4, type of service, whatever, and basically you just want that source address differently. Okay, but it still worked. So the point of that was that we went from this loopback, right? Think of like the 4th floor, say a workstation on the 4th floor, through our through area 1. And then it went to the backbone area 0, and then it went to area 2 to say, let's say, like a 6th floor workstation. All right, and all that was done because of Ospf. So let's go show IP route Ospf, and all of that you can see IA inter area routes, and then our our regular route here was that loopback right there in the area 1. Okay, so it's not that complicated. It just takes some practice, but I didn't go through a whole exhaustive thing about show commands and things like that, because it's really just, you got to take some time with it. But like I said, multi-area Ospf configuration, and we got it going, and we got full connectivity in this little topology that we did. So that's all I wanted to show you, and stay tuned for future videos.